up next is our next VP for, hopefully VP for activities this time. I'm thinking it's Tom Currie. Am I right? I am right. So here we are, our VP for activities, Tom Currie. Tom, welcome to the studio again.
Thanks for having me.
I'm loving the haircut, yeah. Since I last saw you, the curls have gone, but I'm feeling nice and smart. Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
How are you doing? How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
Fair enough.
Just motoring along as always.
As always, it's from what I've heard from Nina and Jack, it's been pretty hardcore over the last 9 weeks. So how's it been going for you? What's the news really?
It's hard work. But no, everything's going fine, really just pushing along with my big campaign aims for the year and just doing everything I can to help societies and get more students involved into the activities and so forth.
Fantastic. I mean, if anyone's part of any sort of society, they should hopefully be getting an email or a Facebook post from Tom, because I know I certainly have been tentatively reading them, of course, with the utmost attention and care. Right, I'm going to kick off with a question which, again, I'm going to say now, I definitely didn't send this. This is definitely not me. It goes, now that student media have their own building, what are you currently doing to support and encourage them to produce consistent, high-quality content with their new facilities? I just wanted to throw that straight in there.
Go for it.
It wasn't me, I promise. Hand on heart. But
that's absolutely fine. So I suppose within my role, it's kind of a case of doing what I can to empower student media, but at the same time not stepping on toes. So it's not a case of I'll put my director's hat, get my director's chair out and say, KTV, make this, or write a story to Inquire and say, Inquire, write about this. I think the best way to do it is essentially to meet with, yourself, Nat and Jack, and talk to you guys and see what I can do to support student media, and if I can attend your committee meeting to see what you guys are up to, that kind of thing. So I suppose to summarise, it's not my job to tell you what to do. It's essentially you guys come to me with an idea and I say, how much do you need and when do you want it?
Fair enough. That's good to hear. Good answer. I like that. I mean, I know I may be slightly biased, but saying that, I know that one concern that people have been coming to me about is the fact that although student media have been given this new building and we're being encouraged to kind of go that step further, is this in any way detracting from other societies? This is a concern I've definitely heard from other people. So how would you respond from people thinking that because so much energy has been going into student media as of late, has this been taking away from the other societies?
Yeah, well, I think the first thing to start with is that student media essentially isn't like a competing rival. Essentially, student media is a resource for other societies to use. So student media is there to support societies, to help them with the work they do, get them the recognition they deserve, get them the publicity they deserve, that kind of thing. Work with them to help them make videos, that kind of thing. Help them get stories into the Inquiry and help get them experience. I mean, ultimately, societies can work with student media. There's nothing to stop, say, the classic liberal society becoming a member of student media and getting vital experience and that kind of thing. With regards to the overall picture, I mean, ultimately, space is a massive issue. If I could magic up rooms, I'd do it as soon as I could. I mean, the overall aim is to produce get a student union building. So to essentially get a massive building like Leeds have, like Sheffield have, so ultimately we can provide all of our society activities, provide an office for RAG, and do everything societies want to do within their own union building.
And how have plans been going for this new student union building? It's been referred to a couple of times, but I'm afraid of just throwing it on you. So how has that been going? What's the plan for that?
Things are going pretty well on that. I mean, it's in the university's estate's plan, so it's in the plan. It's a case of getting it from the plan into reality, however. Current date is 2019. That's the date we're looking at, but hopefully we can push that sooner. But as I say, everything I can do to push for that building, I will do. Fantastic.
Emily, I've just seen you being handed over a couple of questions. Can you give Tom a question for me, please?
Well, you caught me there. Well, we've got this quite a risky question here. It says, how come the Sabbs haven't been as visible this year compared to last? Haven't seen them active since there have been only Nina at venue.
I think that's a bit unfair. I don't think going to venue constitutes being active, but there we go. I mean,
happy
there we go.
Weigh on that. I mean, I disagree with that.
Yeah.
Probably going to be biased in that, but I'm happy to back it. I mean, from my own perspective, I run like a weekly activities hour. So every week I'm outside Central with my table, with my banner, with my get involved post to help any students who want to get involved in the extracurricular, any societies want to come by and tell me what they think, that kind of thing. With regards to social media, I mean, you've probably seen me post over social media like countless times. I'm extremely keen to get the word out and tell people what's going on. Emails, I send a weekly email to all the societies, that kind of thing. And with regards to what my other Sabbs are doing, I mean, I think Nina's doing a fantastic job as Sports VP. She's out there every Wednesday talking to sports clubs, talking to sports students, that kind of thing, something that I don't think any sports tab has ever done. With regards to Jack, he's been fantastic, tag along with Nina to the sports activities, go along to the library consulting students on their views of the hot food situation. I mean, a lot of people don't like it, and Jack's very keen to respond to that. It's doing a great job in consulting students on the UCU. We've got this event right here, getting us more out and about to students. Megan and Jack have also been doing door knocking as well.
Fantastic.
And of course, Tammy's also just been working with the Vice Chancellor to do her Vice Chancellor's hour. So we are doing a lot of stuff, and I mean, if anyone ever gets into this role, you'll see just how difficult it is to really publicise it. But yeah, we are working hard.
And now you have a decent excuse to say, well, why are you going to the venue today, Tom? It's like, oh, well, it's got to get out there, got to see the people, got to, shake some hands, kiss some babies. Fair enough. So, Emily, can I get another question from you, please?
Oh yes, there's one right here saying, are you going to rerun in this year's leadership election?
Pretty blunt out there. Are you going to rerun? Or?
Straight to the point.
I mean, at this kind of position, it's kind of like, well, they call it November blues, essentially, where you're so swamped in everything. The last thing you want to do is even think about rerunning. So, I don't know. Ask me that in January. At the moment, I'm just thinking Society Networking Night. That's all I'm thinking about at the moment.
Fair enough. And so you're talking about the Society Networking Night. For those who may not know what the Society Networking Night is, what can you tell us about that?
Sure. So this is, again, going back to the previous question about what am I doing to engage with societies, that kind of thing. I'm currently working with Society Executive to organise a Society Networking Night. And the idea is a lot of societies said they don't feel connected with Kent Union, they don't feel connected with our staff and so forth. So the idea is to bring all of our societies together, along with Kent Union staff, along with Kent University staff, to, one, create more of a community so people feel more valued, that kind of thing, but also to give them useful experience. I mean, if Student Media has some fantastic knowledge, that kind of thing, RAG's got some fantastic knowledge, that kind of stuff. It's about passing it on to other societies. And I say the most important thing is to build that community that has been somewhat lacking in previous years.
Fair enough, and you don't have to be a society exec to come to the networking night, is that right?
No, you can be a committee member, and if you're an extremely committed society member, you can also go along as well. And it will be at the Gulbenkian, 6 p.m. Wednesday night.
Fantastic. So I've got another question here that I've got on my card, which says, so it says, I want to know one good thing about each person of the sabbatical team. It's pretty blunt, and it's quite specific, and it was actually asked specifically to you, so there we go. Person by person, let's hear one good quality. It doesn't need to be professional, I don't think. It didn't say so.
That's fine. Okay, I suppose for Nina it's her passion. I've never seen someone who's more passionate about actually getting the good word about sport. I mean, ultimately, her big aim this year is to get better recognition for sport and really break down this illusion that all sports clubs do, is get drunk all the time and do their initiations and that kind of thing. So I suppose first good point for one of the Sabbs is Nina and her passion. I think that's absolutely fantastic. Jack's work ethic, I think he's got an absolute work ethic. The amount of things he has to balance, I mean, he's in a meeting almost like every hour of the day. He's got the UCU strike going on, he's got the 24-hour library going on, he's got the hot food situation going on, let alone all the campaigns he wants to do. So I wish I could balance work the way he does. So second point, Jack's work ethic. Megan, one of the most nicest people I've ever known. I think of her almost as like the mother hen of the Sabb team, really. I mean, she's always there offering like a cup of tea, offering if I can stay over, if there's we're going to an event in London, that kind of thing. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. If you ever need someone to rely on, she's the perfect person. So yeah, Megan and her being empathy and all that kind of stuff. Tammy, I think Tammy's just leadership in general, really. I think she's doing a fantastic job at keeping it all together. Sometimes in the past, some people can have quite an authoritarian leadership, kind of says exactly, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. Tammy's got a great attitude, it's about laissez-faire, laying back, letting us all get our own thing, but when we need her help, she's there to support us and do everything she can to help support us and everything else.
Do you know what I'd say your best quality is?
What?
It's your eyes.
Well, thank you.
It's absolutely fine, no problem. Emily, can we have another question, please?
Yes, got... Oh, the eyes. I got this nice one, just saying, what is your greatest memory at your time at University of Kent?
Oh, nice little personal one. So what's your fondest memory of your time here at University of Kent?
Oh, well, going along to society activities, great fun. But when I was doing the environment campaign, I think that was my favourite part, going on to all the events we did. So we went to the Natural History Museum, when we're going out to the Coxing, when we're going out to Hanbrook Marsh, just getting out on the field really, and that way I can just forget about everything and just look at the things in the Natural History Museum.
Fantastic. One thing I haven't asked you yet, which correct me if I have, is what do you feel like your biggest kind of achievement has been so far over these like 9 weeks of term?
Yeah, I think my biggest achievement is actually keeping in contact with society. So when I got elected during the summer, I spoke to quite a few different societies, and one of the things that was always coming back was that they felt disconnected with Kent Union. They didn't feel like Kent Union was actually keeping in contact with them and actually cared about what they were doing and what they wanted to do. So a big priority for this year for me was to actually, one, keep in contact with society, so messaging them on a regular basis so they know what I'm doing, but also asking them, what are you guys up to? So publicising their events via the What's On at Kent, publicising their successes on the Kent Union website, working with groups such as the Inquiry to get society stories in there. So yeah, I suppose that's it really, just keeping in touch with societies and doing what I can to make sure they're recognised and feel a part of Kent Union, because ultimately we're all one union at the end of the day, and societies make up a massive part of that.
Fantastic, fantastic. Another question I've just been handed through is, if you were to only achieve one thing between now and the time for when you were to step down, what would that one thing be, and why would that be?
If I had to achieve one thing, it would be to change the university's perception of what the extracurricular is. So at the moment, you've potentially got a case of where academic is viewed up here, activities and sport and everything else is viewed down here. And when I go to meetings, I have to spend half the meeting explaining what VP activities actually is. And that is like a major stumbling block. And just for societies as well, I mean, when they want to do events, when sports clubs want to do events, sometimes university staff can often have quite a wrong perception of societies and sports clubs. So ultimately, if we could bring the two levels, so bring societies up to, well, activities up to here, that would be fantastic, because that way I wouldn't have to be lobbying for a new union building, I wouldn't have to be lobbying for, say, extra space, wouldn't have to be lobbying for additional funding from the university, it would just happen like that. Societies would have to knock on the Vice-Chancellor's door and say, oh, Julia, can I have this? And she'd go, yeah, sure, go for it. So yeah, if I could achieve one thing, it'd be that.
Now, that'd be quite a nice thing as well, because I mean, it is one of those things that often is kind of put forward, is the idea of balancing the kind of curricular with the extracurricular as well, because of course, you can't. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you can't have one without the other.
But there's got to be a balance.
Yeah, there's got to be a balance. But of course, to just kind of ignore extracurricular as a whole. Most of the time, I know personally. Obviously, I don't want to disavow my own degree here, but the fact that if I hadn't joined KTV, two and a bit years ago, I would most definitely not be in the same position in terms of careers and whatnot, and even just general happiness, than I am now.
Yeah.
And so I totally agree with you. I would stand with you there.
I think the funny thing is that if you talk to people post-university and you ask them, what did you do at university? People nearly always say the society they were in, the sports club they were in, the extracurricular activities they did, rather than the degree. And I think that's quite a poignant thing, really, when it comes to people and their experience at university.
Okay, fantastic. Sorry, I've just been told. Emily, do you have another question?
I haven't.
She hasn't? Producer Tom. Well, in which case I'll throw it completely over to you, Tom. Now is your time to talk to the people out there in the big wide world. What do you have? What do you want us to know? What do you want to kind of put out there?
All right. Well, I suppose my main bit of advice for anyone out there is to get involved, join an extracurricular activity. I mean, ultimately, people can often find that there's all sorts of excuses for not getting involved. I don't have the time, I don't have the money, and I completely appreciate, I mean, some people honestly don't have the time, but it's a case of you can put an hour a week in, you can put in as much time as you want. Ultimately, there is so much on offer with the extracurricular. We've got 150 societies, 20 volunteer societies, 70 sports clubs. There's a huge amount of variety out there. And it's what you can do for yourself as well. It's a case of going to that job interview and saying, not only saying, I had a degree in history, but I was involved in student media, I was involved in RAG, I set up my own society. That's what impresses employers, and that's ultimately what gets you the job. The way I summarise extracurricular to people is, the degree gets your foot in the door, but it's the extracurricular that gets you the job at the end of the day. So that would be my thing to the people of Kent Union, or Kent University, is get involved, be happy, and join the extracurricular activity.
Fantastic. No, I totally agree. The variety we have here at Kent is amazing. From football fans to Tea Appreciation Society to skydiving. There has to, even if you feel like there isn't anything for you to kind of be a part of, but you absolutely can. There's always going to be there something for you. So, thank you very much, Tom. Thank you for coming down. Like I said, we are supremely lacking in audience, but thank you very much. So we will be right back in a couple of minutes.